now here we are with a very special guest on the BookFest, Tony Todaro. Did I say that right? Todaro.
You got it.
Or Torpedo. Take your pick, right?
No, I prefer Todaro.
All right. Tony Todaro is your everything. You are with GLAWS, the Greater Los Angeles Writers Society, which is an excellent nonprofit membership organization for writers, obviously. As well, you're the head honcho over at the West Coast Writers Conferences. And you are a sponsor of the BookFest, for which we thank you for your support. So why don't we start? Just tell us a little bit about what you do at GLAWS and why people might want to be interested in joining.
Thank you, Desiree. I appreciate your having me on the program. The Greater Los Angeles Writers Society has been around, feels like 100 years. We have almost 1,000 members. It's one of the largest on the West Coast. And when we normally are meeting, we meet every month. We have a live session for active writers. It's typically free and open to all writers, open to the public. We have been meeting at one particular library, but with everything that's going on right now, we don't know where we're going to be meeting in 2021 and beyond. And then for people that are just getting started, we have, for people that have work in progress, actually, we have critique groups. The critique groups are all genre specific. Science fiction people don't meet with memoir writers, and screenplay writers are different. So once you're a GLAWS member, you can participate in as many of the critique groups as you want to. Then last but not least, we do live events where we get out and help our members sell their books. The next big thing that was coming up, that will be coming up, is the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books. And we usually have a large booth there and dozens of speakers, authors that are there to sell their books, make new fans, and autograph books as well too. So it's typically our biggest event of the year. We're at WonderCon and a bunch of other events as well, but Festival of Books is just a terrific opportunity for authors to really connect with readers with a really large setting. And we're one of the only writer groups that does this, oddly enough.
Well, at least on the scale that you do it, because I've seen you at the LA Times Festival of Books, and you have a big booth, and you have a system all set up. So the authors come in, they do their signing for a little while. You also have other authors there supporting them, helping them if they, grab a pen if they need to get a signature, or grab those bookmarks, hand out flyers and things like that. So you really have this community feeling, and it's fun and festive. And other booths sometimes at the LA Times Festival of Books, it just kind of seems
others, yeah.
not to point fingers, but it feels a little bit more sterile and it's not as inviting. So you guys always do a great job.
Well, we layer it. We have 3 layers actually. There's as many as 6 or 7 authors lined up across the front, and we have their genre, big letters on the bottom of the table. And they're there to sell their books, and we encourage them to have business cards to pass out, bookmarks, and all kinds of good things. But what we do is we have a GLAWS staff that stands out in front, and they catch everybody that's walking by, and they say, "Hey, are you a reader? Or are you a writer?" And if they say that they're a reader, we say, well, what are you reading? And we bring them over. We introduce them to the authors that are there that are writing in that genre. If they say that they're a writer, we ask them if they're aware of the society, and then we invite them to our 3rd layer, and that's where we have around in the back. We have a setup for GLAWS so that they can get more information, if they can answer any questions. And then the authors aren't bothered by those kinds of things or people trying to sell them stuff. They can concentrate on focusing on their audience and potential new fans and readers. And then GLAWS handles all of that in the back, and we give away a couple of free memberships every year at Festival of Books as well. So we've been doing that a long time. So we've got a pretty good system there. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I think so if all things go as planned, then the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books will happen again in April, right? Is that
April
their
2021, knock on wood, and hopefully for a vaccine that enough people trust. But we're planning on having hundreds of masks for all of our authors and anybody that wants to walk up to the booth. We're buying some plexiglass dividers and to try and minimize our shoulder-to-shoulder environment, which people typically like. So we're trying to make, and of course, sanitary everything. So we're trying to make it as warm and inviting as possible, considering the current pandemic situation. We just don't know what's going to happen with IMG and Los Angeles Times Festival of Books. They're not saying because they don't know, and we don't know what the state's going to, what kind of a situation we're going to be by April.
Yeah.
We're hoping to go live. We're counting on going live. Right now, what we're doing is our own virtual BookFest, GLAWS BookFest, where we have all of the authors on our website. They have interviews with them talking about who they are, and then they get to do a reading from their book. And there's a bio and a description of the book and links so that they can email the author or links so that they can order the book online. So we're not waiting until next year for our authors to have the ability to make sales. We're continually pushing them, and we'll be pushing them between now and next April.
Exactly. So your writers conference is coming up. Can you say the dates of that again? People know where to go.
Sure. Appreciate it. The Digital Author and Indie Publishing Conference, Writers Conference, we hold every fall. Digital Author and Indie Publishing covers what I call ebooks, A-books, and P-books, which is audiobooks, print on demand, and audiobooks too. Ebooks is a big amount of business. It's not the sun, the moon, the stars, but it's a profit center where authors can make money. Right now, they can go online to wcwriters.com/DA, and we're calling this the Golden Age of Indian Self-Publishing, and we're encouraging people to get involved and decide if they want to publish traditionally or if they want to self-publish. And yes, we'll have agents there who are looking for fresh talent with a polished manuscript. So we want to be able to service all the authors depending on what means they ultimately decide on to reach their fan base.
And that's such an important thing right now because, as you know, for the last 6, 8, 9 months, all of these creatives have been asked to hunker down. So what have they been doing? They've been writing. So I foresee a big influx of books coming out onto the market. And I think it's more important now than ever to understand your different options, whether it's self-publishing or traditionally publishing or maybe going with a hybrid press. Are you seeing that too, that we just have more creativity and energy coming out of the writing community now?
I'm seeing some of it. I'm seeing also people that just can't make heads or tails out of it and may feel pressured to get their work out now. And self-publishing rather than going the traditional route and finding an agent who is passionate about your work and will help get you a good publisher. Because ultimately, that's the way to go is traditional publishing. Self-publish only when you can't get a traditional publisher that will get you everywhere that you need to be. Some people will just never give it the time or patience to get a deal. I mean, we just did a conference in August, and I have people already emailing me, gee, I sent my stuff to the agent, and I haven't heard back yet. Well, they're 3 to 6 months typically to respond, even if they met with you at the conference. And then they have to turn around and pitch publishers, and that could take another 3 to 6 months. And then production time could take another year or two. So some authors don't have the patience that they need to have to really see their work properly presented in the widest possible creative market.
Right. That immediate path. And right now, too, there's so many books and authors coming out with stories and nonfiction books, too, that need to be told now. So that's the other thing. I think it really depends upon your goals. If you want to be a writer and receive fame and fortune, then traditional publishing is for you. But if you have other goals behind that writing, then self-publishing can definitely be the right answer. So I think it's a matter of kind of weighing all those pros and cons.
Right, and not making a hasty decision. This really is a golden age for self-help and of everything from how to get yourself out of depression to how to write a better book. And I buy and lay my hands on every book that I can related to the craft and business of writing, because I want to stay on. As much as I think I know, every time I turn around, I learn something new. And authors really have they have to wear at least two hats. I'm wearing one hat today covering everything. But authors have to be creative writers, and they also have to be business people and engage in the business of writing intelligently, and know when to spend money and know where not to spend money, but mostly to be able to get out and talk about your work. I've met authors. I said, well, gee, what are you writing right now? Oh, I can't tell you about it. Somebody might steal it. Come on. You get a chance to talk your work up. They may get excited about it and say, oh, well, here's my email. Let me know when it's out because I want to buy a copy. If you keep it to yourself, nobody's going to know. So that self-promotion, whether or not you're a traditional publish traditionally, or you publish, you self-publish, you become your own publisher, if you will. They have to continually be talking, being out, doing things with Black Chateau. These are real important golden opportunities to get out and promote your work when you can't walk into a bookstore right now. You can't do a book signing. So online has become so much more, virtual world has become so much more important. And I think it's going to change. It's going to be a part of the new normal that people will go out when they need to go out. But if they can do something online, and especially the next generations coming in, they're going to be used to this. They're going to be used to learning through this method through school, and as well as the conferences like we do, our writers conference, our masters workshops. Now, it should not replace it. I like the in-person. I like meeting with people, like networking. I like seeing Desiree, seeing you and all your people in person. Nothing beats that person-to-person networking contact. But we're not stuck in a cave, as some people think that we are, and we're not going maniac depressive. We simply have to channel our outreach in other manners right now to keep our sanity and, frankly, keep our hopes as an author alive, instead of just saying, well, I'm going to go dig ditches for 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you hit on something really important. I think that's the value of this upcoming conference that you're putting together. It's because of the fact that you're really focusing on the technology and some of the different options. You touched on audiobooks. And I gotta imagine audiobooks are going to start soaring. They've been doing very well. They've been on a very pronounced uptick. But the more people want to listen at home, they want to listen while they're cleaning or while they're jogging, I would have to think that audiobooks are going to be increasing as well.
Audiobooks are doing terrific, and related to that too, let's see, they're called Steamboat is the name of the company here in LA. They've done over 3,000 audiobooks, and we try and have them as often as possible. They do an incredible job on audiobooks. They've done a number of our attendees, but we're also going to be covering something else that authors don't think about. That's book trailers, putting together. Right now, with all the streaming that's going on, whether it's on a website or through an email or Facebook, having a book trailer of your work can also help with your marketing too.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've done a lot of book trailers and they're fun to do. And the important thing there, I think, too, is making sure that you decide how produced you want it to be. Because if it's an amalgamation, sometimes it can feel a little off. Sometimes it's okay to not make it so produced, because then people understand that it's a book and not a movie. You don't want to make a book trailer look like a movie trailer.
Right. Well, some people do that. They, you watch something on television now and you think you're seeing a preview for a movie and it's for a video game. So they don't always identify their audience properly, because I'm not interested in video games in the least. But if it's something that's being streamed, I'm more interested in it than not. If there's a presentation I found I'm going to watch it tonight, a video, an interview with Eddie Van Halen at a university talking about his music, his technology, and he's going to be sitting there on the couch playing a guitar once in a while. That's a major education in itself that I normally can't get any other way. And so I think book trailers are going to be more important. Audiobooks will never die. Ebooks are down a bit because people do like to physically touch a book. I like to feel touch of books. You can probably see a few 100 or 1,000 books behind me here. That's just the tip of the iceberg that fits in my studio. I don't do ebooks. I like a good physical book that I can touch, that I can get autographed, and becomes a part of a permanent collection. If it's worth my having and worth buying, it's something I want to read and keep and cherish and maybe pass on or donate at some point. Every author should kind of take that attitude that they're going to put their best foot forward. And as well as, I'll make one last comment in this respect, be thinking about what they're going to write next. You know, anybody who's just writing one book is just not really, and isn't really a writer. It's the people that write book after book after book that come out with 5, 6 books, year, 2 years apart. That's how they build a fan base. If somebody doesn't buy that first book, will come back, maybe pick up a second one and say, you know, I should have gotten that first one. And they end up building a fan that has, that buys the entire series. I ended up doing that with Dean Koontz. I got one of his books early on, Lightning, and I thought the book was just so incredible. And then I met him at American Book Festival, and got talking to him a little about it. And I ended up buying. I probably have about 43 of it. I have exactly 43 of his hardcovers now. Yeah. Because I became a fan of his after just buying one. It wasn't his first book. But authors need to think in those terms of not just what they're writing now, but what they're going to write next and how they're going to bring it to market. So that's a part of the golden age of Indian self-publishing.
Excellent advice. And again, that's what an agent and therefore a publisher want to hear. If you're going to be a one-hit wonder in the book world and you have one book, that's not marketable. That's probably going to be why, even if it's the best book in the world, they could still say no because they want that longevity. They want somebody who's going to produce hit after hit after hit.
Exactly. My agent, I gave my new series to that my Xander Hunt, futuristic science fiction dystopic kind of LA in the future after the big quake has hit. LA is Malibu is gone. Orange County is a lake. We don't have gangs anymore. We have river gangs. So he got the first book, which is what comes around. It's a time travel murder mystery. And he says, well, you going to have anything else? He says, yeah, here's the second one already. I just didn't want to give you too much. He read them both and loved them and said, what else you got planned? And I says, well, here's a 2-page synopsis for the third one. And he says, can you make that 6 pages? And I think I can sell it.
There you go.
So that's how what he's working on right now.
Excellent. Excellent advice. Tony from the Greater Los Angeles Writers Society and West Coast Writers Conferences, thank you again for supporting the BookFest and for being here today and sharing some of your wisdom with the readers and writers who are here with us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you all very much, and keep reading and writing.